So I think freedom is many people's number one value. And that is why that's why I decided to not go to law school and start working online. And then that led me to copywriting. And the lifestyle advantages are crazy. I mean, I have friends, and my twin brother even, who's now a doctor and works so much, and he looks at me and he's like, I feel like all you do is just like gallivant around the world and pull money out of the sky. And I'm like, huh. If only I could put that on a business card. But I think that the freedom and flexibility that all you need to do is be able to open your laptop, open a Word doc, and just be creative. But you're being creative in a way that is so valuable and so needed by businesses, but it allows you to do it from absolutely anywhere in the world. Oftentimes you can set your own hours, you can decide when you want to have client meetings, when you want to write. I've identified that my most creative time is in the morning. So I fiercely protect that time. I am like in creative writing mode, usually from about 9 to 11:30, 12. And then the rest of the afternoon, I either take off, or maybe I do client meetings, or I handle the admin part of my business. And so you have the ability to sort of shape what your week looks like. You can choose who you want to work with. You can decide what niches you want to write in, what topics you want to write about, and trust that there are businesses in every single one of those niches that are looking for support in that. So obviously for me personally, copywriting was my ticket to freedom, but the beautiful thing about digital marketing is there are so many different skills that businesses need. So whether or not you're a great writer doesn't really matter. And if you're listening to this thinking, but I'm not a great writer, I can't be a copywriter, there are so many other avenues. Video, like you said, can't say that. Like creating a YouTube channel, obviously you can do from anywhere. There's so much equipment now that you can literally pack into something this big and have super high quality video production from anywhere in the world. And in fact, now with traveling, I'm often creating videos on the road from anywhere. You could do social media management, you could do project management, you could do customer support. I mean, the list of roles and skills that businesses are looking for goes on and on and on. And the beautiful thing about kind of the state of the world and how things have changed lately is that a lot of businesses that maybe used to hire in-house are now a lot more open to hiring remote freelancers. And I'm seeing that happen with my friends, clients, mastermind members, where what used to be, no, you have to be in the office, you have to be here, you have to work if you're going to be on our team, is now, oh yeah, you want to take your laptop and go work from anywhere in the world? I'm okay with that. And my team even is 100% remote because that's been my background. I couldn't imagine having a team in an office now, especially since I spent the last, 8 years traveling the world and working from my laptop. So that is truly, I think, the number one reason why people do it. But values change. Obviously, freedom and travel is huge, but I also have students that have started working online so that they could stay at home with their families. They went on mat leave. Mat leave's coming to an end. They no longer want to go back to their normal jobs, so they want to stay at home with their kids, and they look to things like copywriting or other online skills to be able to do that. So one of the things I'm most proud of about the Copy Posse is that we literally have students from all over the world. We have people in almost every continent and writers of all different levels and backgrounds, even writers who aren't native English speakers. And I think that's the beautiful thing about it is copywriting is so much about positioning and marketing that even if your English isn't like 1000% perfect, you can still follow the structures and be persuasive in your messaging, and then get obviously the support of a proofreader or an editor who can then kind of take it across the finish line. But I have plenty of students that don't speak English as their first language who are absolutely killing it right now. So because copywriting is so much more about marketing and positioning and communicating with the audience, it's really something that anyone can do at any level if they have interest and passion in it. And then the writing itself is something that gets better over time. So one of my favorite things to say is, how do you write good copy? You write bad copy and then you fix it. Nobody starts right from scratch with a masterpiece, So the way to start is just to start and then continually evolve and get better over time. So when I started the Copy Posse, I kind of thought that the people who I would be speaking to would be people who were already maybe freelance copywriters or already entrepreneurs. And that really goes to show that you can have an idea of who you think you're going to help when you start, and then it completely changes. So I thought I was speaking to entrepreneurs and copywriters who were already out there writing copy. But what happened was, all of a sudden, I started showing people who had a passion for writing that they could take that passion for writing and turn it into a business. So I have one student that was a very high level corporate executive, leave her company and move to Bali, got her dive master certification so she could teach diving, spend time in the ocean, and write copy. And now she's a full-time copywriter. I have another student who worked in sort of a soul-sucking sales job in the UK, and he would have to commute on the London Tube to work for like hours to and from every single day. He was living in a tiny little shared, like basically dormitory style room, because London and the cost of living in London is insane. And he would go to work every day, come home in the evenings and learn copywriting. And after learning copywriting, about 5 or 6 months later, he was able to quit his job, fully replace his income and more, and then moved into an actual 1-bedroom flat in London. And his whole life completely changed literally within the course of a year. I have another student who was working 9 to 5 as a lab technician, and she's always loved writing. She's always had this passion for marketing and just never really saw an avenue of how to turn that into an income stream. She had a young child at home and really wanted to spend more time with him, so she learned how to copyright, and now she's turning clients away left, right, and center and is a full-time copywriter. Honestly, I think the biggest thing that holds people back is imposter syndrome. It's easy to see people online and think they could do it, but I can't. And that's not me. And yeah, they can have success, but I can't have success. And that's part of my mission, and what I'm trying to do is to showcase that truly anyone can do this. It's not reserved for like a small, select few who have all these like crazy skills that you don't have. There are so many avenues to making money online, and that's truly the most beautiful thing about the internet, is how it has opened up all of these possibilities. And the biggest obstacle is always yourself. We're always getting in our own way. I even ask myself, why did I wait 8 years to start my YouTube channel? And I could say, oh, it's because I was busy traveling the world and writing copy. But in reality, I was terrified. What would that look like? What if I create videos and then nobody watches them and I publicly fail? Putting yourself out there on the internet is like this very terrifying thing, because if it doesn't work, people can see that it didn't work. But then you realize that by you sort of putting yourself out there and taking that step, you inspire so many other people who are having those same doubts. And to me, that's sort of this really cool ripple effect of people just really standing in their power and putting themselves out there and giving permission for other people to do the same. So if you are thinking about starting something online, if you're thinking of learning a skill because you want to have the freedom that so many people crave, trust that you can do it. And just, there's so many resources out there for you to learn. Dabble, see what interests you, see what skill set inspires you, research, read, and that will open up so many doors. And then you can just pick which door you want to walk through. Yeah, so really good copy hooks attention, right? I teach something called the ABCs of copywriting. Attention is the first most important thing, because if you don't have attention, you don't have anything. You could have like this well-written masterpiece, and if nobody's seeing it, then it doesn't even matter. So attention is the first thing, and you need to grab attention by using a hook that's relatable to your audience. Right? And so the idea of a hook, or the big idea in copywriting, is used a lot, but it's a concept that appeals to your audience and makes them want to learn more. And you can do that through speaking to their pain or a problem they're experiencing, through empathy. You can talk about a benefit they want to achieve or something they're going through. That's a great way to hook attention. The second thing is great copy is believable. So I often say that bad copy really makes the jump from problem to product. And we always see copy like this, right? It's basically like, oh, you can't sleep? Buy my product. oh, you're having a hard time connecting with your children? Buy my product. Oh, you want to learn how to, lessen your anxiety? Buy my product. And then everyone wonders, like, why isn't that selling? And it's like, because nobody actually believes that you have the solution that can help them. And so believability is so important in copywriting, where you need to convince someone that first, there's a solution that you have that can help them, and then your product is just the easier, better, faster, simpler way to get that solution, right? Because if they don't believe that the solution you're offering is going to help them, it doesn't matter how great your offer is. You could be like 100% off, and they'll be like, what? I don't believe that. That's too good, So having believability is huge in copy. And then the last thing, and this is probably like rule number one of copywriting, is to have a strong close or call to action. So everyone loves to be told what to do next online. It's like, click here, join this, do this, because even if we think it's intuitive, marketing really needs to be linear in that way. So if you get your audience's attention, you make a big promise through believable copy that's going to deliver benefits, lots of B's, then you can finish off with a strong close or CTA, which is, hey, comment below and let me know what you think about this, or click this link to go check out this program or service, or click the button below to join us, or whatever that might be. So telling your users exactly what you want them to do next. A really common mistake I see in copywriting is when people try to speak to everyone, right? The less specific you are, the less persuasive you are. So if you really want people to feel like you're speaking to them, you have to be specific. Not so specific that you're like, hey, are you wearing a white shirt and jeans right now? Like, no, but you have to speak to their pain points in a way that is relatable, and the more specific you are, the more relatable you actually are, which seems like these two competing ideas, but they're not. And so trying to appeal to everyone is just never gonna work, right? Another common mistake that I see is people use like really high level benefits. So they'll say things like, oh, this will make you happier, or this will just help you, or it'll help you change your life. And especially in certain niches, like I write in the personal development niche quite directly and have done so for many years, is the more general you are, and this is going back to specificity, but the more general you are, the less relatable you are, or the less believable your copy is. And so being as specific as possible in that way. The other thing and mistake I see being made a lot is people who just focus on the offer. So they think, if I just scream, you'll get 50% off, louder and louder and louder, and in bigger letters with the red and the underline and all that, like, that must make this convert better. It's like, if someone's not buying, there's a different reason than just the price. In fact, price is obviously always part of the decision-making process, but if someone's not buying it, there's another reason, and screaming it louder, through words on a page isn't gonna change that. It's about going back and revisiting and thinking, okay, what is it that is stopping them from purchasing, and how can I help them get over that? I think the best way to start is to think, who's one person that I can help solve one problem? And the reason why that's such a powerful place to start is, if you can help one person solve one problem, then you can help their friends solve that same problem. And then maybe all of a sudden you're helping a whole community of people solve that one problem. And then once you have a community and you have people who you've helped, that's when you can start expanding out. I'll give even my own business as an example. Teaching copywriting is very specific, and I teach mostly freelance copywriters how to start their freelance businesses. Now, when I started that, I was a little bit shy about being that specific, because again, I thought, but what about all these entrepreneurs who want to learn how to write better copy? Or what about all of these more experienced copywriters who want to come and just like hone their craft? What about them? And I realized that by being really specific in the beginning, I built a very loyal fan base who were there 1000% for exactly what I was teaching. And then I was able to start branching out a little bit, because I was able to grow with my audience. So now I have students that are quite experienced copywriters. So all of a sudden now, I am helping them. I am talking to them. And I've had entrepreneurs come and find me as a result of the content I'm creating. And so the question I would ask yourself is, who is one person that I can help solve one problem, and really start there. And then as you start to see that grow because you're helping other people solve that same problem, it's easy, way easier to then expand and broaden because you have that authority and that base in place. So obviously one of the best ways to learn copywriting is to find a mentor or someone who can teach you, give you feedback, or get your foot in the door with a company who can really help you play around and teach and learn and get that immediate feedback. But if you're not in a position to, work with a mentor or get a job in that field just yet, one of the best ways to practice copywriting truly, and I do this all the time, is I'll go spot like a headline or an ad online and I will rewrite it. I'll look at it critically. I'll be like, what is this trying to say? What's the core benefit they're trying to convey? Who's the audience that they're speaking to? And I will rewrite copy that I see online to see if there's ways that I can improve and make it better. A question that I get a lot from some of my students is, okay, how do I know if my copy is good or bad? And the truth of the matter is, you never really know. Even me at this level, I've been doing this for years. I write stuff, and there are times where I think this is pure gold. I'm a genius, and then it doesn't work. And so testing copy is obviously really, really important. And there are ways that you can test copy without having a job or having a whole team to implement and get that immediate feedback. You can test copy in a social caption. Right? You can try posting something, writing a caption, and seeing the types of engagement you get. If people are scrolling right on by, maybe you're not catching attention, right? You could try then posting something similar with, same image a little bit later, try something new, test a new caption. Really, what is good copy and what is bad copy is all about the feedback that you're getting from the audience ultimately, right? And so good and bad is sort of this like subjective, just like, someone might look at a Picasso painting and be like, that's terrible. It looks like a 5-year-old drew it, but it's freaking Picasso, and it's more about the audience and the feedback that you're getting from them. And there are a lot of fun ways that you can do that just with the tools that are available on social media. And so I would say just keep practicing, putting your work out there. Remember, in the beginning, it's going to feel like crickets. Not everyone is going to be like, wow, this is the best thing I've ever read. But if you stay consistent and keep practicing and improving, you will get better.